Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, all right. It is so good to see everybody. Thanks for being here. For those of you who may not have been at our last State of the Business meeting, we've gotten the okay from public health for the presenters in meetings like this to be able to remove their masks as long as the audience is 6 feet away from me. So some of you may not have seen my mouth for a while. And if you were wondering why that's why I have my mask off now. So anyways, really good afternoon. It really is good to be here with all of you. This is always one of the highlights of my month. It's great to have residents, a few team members, some advisory board members, and maybe some family members. Maybe there's some crossover there with us here in the GRA. And it is also great to have many that are joining us remotely through Zoom or TLG TV. Whether you're here with us in person or you're joining us remotely, we are very, very glad that we can be here together. And we thank you for taking the time. We'd like to extend a special welcome to anyone that is here with us for the first time, for their first State of the Business meeting. We're very glad that you're here and want you to know that you're always welcome to join us on the first Thursday of each month, typically the first Thursday of each month at 3:30 p.m. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge our Community Advisory Board. Can all of the advisory board members that are here with us today please stand so that we can recognize you? All right, there's a few with us here. There's a few more joining us virtually as well. I want to thank you for all that you do to support our community. And in just a few moments, we'll be privileged to hear from one of our advisory board members. I want to take a moment to acknowledge actually that, does anyone know what this week is? It's a very, very special week. I heard a Mother's Day. Yes, that's a very important week, or that's a very important day this week. It's Cinco de Mayo, which is also a very important day, but not what I was thinking of either. Teacher Appreciation Week is this week. So I know we have a lot of teachers that are with us here at the Terraces of Los Gatos. So if there are any teachers that are with us here, would you mind standing if you're comfortable doing so that we can recognize you and thank you for the important work that you do? Thank you all very much. And Nurses Appreciation Week, which we'll talk about a little later in the meeting. So yeah, thank you very much to all of the teachers that we have here. I know that for me personally, and I know everybody appreciates, even though I know we didn't always show it when we were in school and you were teaching us, we really, really do appreciate you and the impacts that you've made in our lives. My mother, actually, she's been a teacher for over 40 years. And I spoke with her last night, actually, and she's retiring in about 2.5 weeks. And I know she doesn't like to admit it, but I know she's really sad, but she's also really, really excited. So anyways, again, thank you to all of the teachers. Okay, so now let's see. We'd like to actually take some time to recognize one of our very hardworking and important resident committees here at the Terraces Los Gatos. The many resident committees that we have here at the community, they really play an integral role in helping all of the residents here in the community live the best lives that they possibly can. And today we have the privilege of meeting the members and the volunteers of the library committee. So can all of the members of the library committee that are here with us come join me up front for just a moment, if you're able to do so. All right. What I thought we could do is most of us know most, if not all of you already. However, if you're okay with it, I'd actually just like to pass the mic around so that each of you can introduce yourselves, if that's okay. And maybe let us know how long you've lived here at the Terraces, if you'd like to. Which side should we start at? Kate, can we start with you?
I'm Kate, and I've lived here for 7 years, and I think most of you know me and my reputation. And
I'm Pat Laurie, and I've been here 3 years as of April 29th. See you all come in. It's nice.
I'm Val Bredemeyer, and I'm going on to 13 years.
I'm Mickey Mistretta, and I've been here about 1.5 years.
And I'm Pat Wright. I've been here 9 years.
I'm Susan Shaw, and I've been here 6.5 years.
Hi, I'm Patty Weber, and I've been here about 1.5 years.
I'm Jean Tenney, and I've been here 7.5 years.
I'm Nancy Friebel, and I've been here 12 years and 11 years in the library.
Barbara Levine, and I've been here 1.5 years.
Thank you all so much. The library committee does such important work. Not only do you run a very well-organized and well-stocked library, I know there's a lot of thought that goes into making sure that it's a well-curated library that's updated on a regular basis with a constant flow of new books coming in. I know that you all put in a lot of time and energy, and we really, really appreciate that. And I think that although we certainly appreciate the modifications, we'll say, to the library that was done during the heat of COVID when we had to shut down the library. Once the library was open again, I know how much our community appreciated the library even more, having missed it for such a long time while it had to be closed. So thank you for all that you do, sincerely, on behalf of the entire community. We appreciate you. There's you're welcome to stay and hang out for the rest of the presentation. You may have to read some of my notes, though. No, you're welcome to head back to your seats. I wanted to mention, actually, there's a few residents that weren't able to join us today. I don't think Diane Hawes, Joanne Kuberian, and Marion Lester. And let's see, was Bobby Fredrickson and Marty Daly. So if there's anyone that we missed, I apologize. But again, thank you for the great work that you do. All right, next, we're fortunate to hear from one of our advisory board members, as we do each month during the State of the Business. And in fact, this month we get to hear from our current advisory board chair, Pam Bancroft.
Thank you, Bradley. Good afternoon to you all. It is so wonderful to be able to see you here in person and not on Zoom. As Bradley said, my name is Pam Bancroft. I'm this year's chairperson of the Terraces of Los Gatos Community Advisory Board. And each month at the State of Business meeting, one of the board members talks to you about their biography in an effort for you residents to get to know the board members. Since we've had so little contact with all of you in the last 2.5 years, we feel like we really are kind of isolated, the 15 board members. So in an effort to get to know you better and have you know who we are, one of us is here at every meeting monthly to let you know something about ourselves. Before COVID, we had a program that we called Lunch with the Board Member. And we would have in the main dining room a table where residents would sign up to sit with a board member and have lunch with them. And we really enjoyed that so much because it's a two-way introduction of getting to know you and having you get to know the board members. And then we could talk about issues that we were tackling on the board that you probably didn't know about. Eventually, we will get back to that program. But cases of COVID, even here at the Terraces and certainly in Santa Clara County, are increasing. And we want to be very cautious and prudent about how quickly we jump into this. So for now, we'll just be giving our one board member at a time their board biography. So this month, I am pleased to be able to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, and I grew up in the western end of the state of Massachusetts in Lenox, a little town in the Berkshire Mountains where Tanglewood is located. And that's the summer home of the Boston Symphony Orchestra. So it was a very cultural area, but beautiful place to grow up. I graduated from the University of Connecticut, and then I married my hometown sweetheart, Ted. And eventually we migrated west. And we came to Silicon Valley after a 3-year stay in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where my husband, Ted, worked for a startup company called Cume. And that company was eventually bought by ITT. And during that process, we then had 2 children, and our entire family of 4 moved to Taipei, Taiwan, where my husband was the general manager of the ITT plant. It was a wonderful experience to be able to live a different culture. Our children went to school. I learned to speak Mandarin fairly fluently. And we had a lot of travel throughout Asia, and we just thoroughly enjoyed our experience there. When we returned from Taiwan, we moved into Montecito, which is just 10 minutes away from here, and it's where we live today. And I decided that I was going to run for the city council of Montecito. I was tired of being someone's mother, someone's wife, and decided I needed an identity of my own. So I became a city council member, and I was mayor of Montecito in 1995 and 96. The most significant change that we made during the year I was mayor was to switch from the sheriff providing police protection to the residents of Montecito to the Los Gatos Police providing police protection. And the Los Gatos Police Department then became known as the Los Gatos Montecito Police Department, and they are still providing police protection for the Montecito city at this time. The reasons that we changed were that we saved a lot of money by switching over to the Los Gatos Police as opposed to the sheriff. The response times were much lower with the Los Gatos Police than they were with the sheriff. And if you're dialing 911, you want someone there fast. And the Los Gatos Police also patrol our streets constantly, which was not the case with the sheriff. The sheriff was only in Montecito when they were called, when they were summoned. So we're very pleased that the Los Gatos Police still provide police services for the city of Montecito. Many of you know that I came to work for the Terraces of Los Gatos, and it was about the same time that I served on the city council. I was sales, marketing, and community relations director for 18 years. And I retired in 2011, and Linda Price succeeded me and her team. And I can't tell you what a wonderful job they are doing, especially through the COVID, to keep the terraces full and a wait list. You and Jana and EJ have done a fabulous job. And I am so glad I'm retired and that the Terraces is in such great hands. Out of curiosity, I would just like to know, with the show of hands, how many of you lived here while I worked here, or how many we were in contact with, either on the wait list or inquiring. Show me how many hands. Oh, there are a lot of you that are new that I don't know in 11 years that I've been retired. So that's great. That's great. Thank you. When I retired, I was appointed by Mike Wasserman, our county supervisor, to a commission called the Santa Clara County Senior Care Commission. And the purpose of that commission is to identify the needs of seniors in the county and provide solutions to those needs. For the most part, they're indigent seniors. I was on the board for 9 years, and I served as chairperson for 2 years. And as chairperson, we identified the need of financially subsidizing seniors that could not afford to attend adult daycare, but would benefit greatly from getting out of their house or their apartment 2 to 3 times a week to socialize with other people, to have a hot lunch, and to give their caregivers some respite. We went to the Board of Supervisors and educated them about our plan. We were able to get a 3-year pilot program for this program with a cost of $720,000 from the county to subsidize the seniors that were going to be going to the adult daycare. Unfortunately, that 3-year pilot program turned out to be a 5-year pilot program because COVID hit, and all of the adult daycares were closed down. Some of them were held virtually, but there was no one meeting in person. But I'm really proud to say that today that program still exists. It's a permanent program. And I read in the paper a couple of weeks ago that the state of California is considering implementing a similar program for all of these seniors that qualify by virtue of their income for 2 to 3 days of adult daycare subsidized. So I'm very proud of that work that we accomplished. Now I'm focused on the Terraces of Los Gatos board. I have served a 9-year term on the board and went off the board for my obligatory 1-year respite and was asked to come back on the board. So I'm back for my second stint. And I look forward to meeting more of you in the next few months and getting to know you better as we can move around a little more now that we hope COVID is abating. So thank you very much. I love the Terraces.
Thank you so much, Pam. I appreciate that bio and I appreciate all that you do and have done over the years for the terraces and as well as the greater community. It's always fun whenever we do these bios. There's always things that really stick out to me that I didn't know about our board members, and there was a lot there that I didn't know, which is fantastic. And it just goes to show that great people are born in Boston. My eldest son was born in Boston, Massachusetts General Hospital. I don't know what hospital you were born at, but they make great people there in Boston, apparently. So thank you again, Pam, and I look forward to another 9-year stint on the board. All right. We will now hear from a few of our department directors with some updates and information from their respective departments. And then I'll share a few updates and announcements after that. And at the end, hopefully we'll have a few minutes left for questions. But as the different department directors come up and give their presentations or their reports, feel free to raise your hand, shout, throw something at them, depending on which person it is, to get their attention if you have any questions throughout their reports. We'll first hear from Linda Price, our Director of Sales and Marketing. Then we'll hear from Vincent Foresta, our Director of Buildings and Grounds. And then after Vincent, we'll hear from Christy McKinney, our Director of Human Resources. Linda.
Good afternoon, everyone. And Pam, I have to thank you for sharing that. I know a lot of people probably, especially our newer people, wouldn't know that you had served as Sales and Marketing Director for 18 years. So I'm thankful for you. But imagine how intimidating that was for me when I started my position. I had very, very big shoes to fill. Not that they could be filled, but Pam was going directly into a position or sitting on the TLG advisory board when I started. So again, I was going to be in meetings and presenting and learning my job and getting familiar with the community, and she was still here. But I have to say, we are so very, very lucky to have your experience and all the things, accomplishments that you did to make this community successful for so many years. You've been nothing but kind for me, and I just want to say I appreciate your mentorship and your friendship. I love you. And yes, thank you for taking your hiatus and coming back. So we are still getting her experience. Okay, and we'll just cut to the chase and get to our occupancy updates as we are kind of mid-second quarter here. Business has picked up. I feel like it's almost back to pre-COVID levels. The phones are ringing off the hook. We're getting a lot of internet inquiries, a lot of traffic. So a lot of people still very, very interested in coming to the terraces. They were the last 2 years, and we did well during the COVID years, but now some of those that were a little reluctant and hesitant about what was going on during that time are ready to come in. We did not have any move-ins in April. That was because we had quite a bit of transitions going on and a lot of renovations of apartments going on. A lot of those have been completed. So right now, our occupancy is 169 apartments occupied out of 175. 6 apartments are under renovation. 4 of those are reserved, and 2 we have just started to show to waitlist clients. Assisted living, we are 42 apartments occupied of 45. And in the Grove memory support, we are 14 apartments occupied out of 16. Most of those I would say or consider them internally reserved. We're just waiting on care conferences and family meetings. And of course, that's up to you as residents and what your needs are. Just keep in mind that you are our priority. You have access to those higher levels of care. So we're always waiting on you. to make those decisions and get the care you need and be where you want to be and need to be. So that's the reason for those vacancies. We will not go to the outside community until we're given the go-ahead and know that our residents and your loved ones, if you don't need those, okay? So now we just want to welcome our newcomers. We've already had 2 that are here and on campus for May. I don't know if they're here, maybe they're watching online, but regardless, help us welcome Curtis and Ruth Cook. They are here. Oh, please stand so they can. Welcome. We are so glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you've joined your first meeting with us. And then on May 3rd, following the Cooks, we had Mr. Frank Jones. Mr. Jones, are you here? I thought I saw him in the building earlier. He moved in on May 3rd into L337. We have 2 more coming in next week, and that is Miss Judy Paisano. She will be moving into Q163 on Monday, May 9th. And then Mr. Brian Marks will be moving into M250 on Wednesday, May 11th. So just want to give you those names, apartment numbers. So if you live close by, you know who your new neighbors are going to be. So please help us welcome those folks. We are working on 2 of those, 2 move-ins for June. I'll announce those as we make progress. We're really waiting on the completion dates for their apartments, but they are hoping, 2 families are hoping to move in June. And then the other 2, we will, like I said, we have not reserved yet. Other than that, I think that's it for me if there's no questions. And thank you for your patience, for all of, the patience that you have when those apartments are being renovated near you and there's banging and clanging and it has to be done. And we do appreciate your patience and the kindness that you show our guests when they're here on campus. Have a good afternoon.
Hello, everyone. Updates from buildings and grounds. So we've officially scheduled window washing. So yay. June 15th, the official day that we start. I'm working with the window washer company right now to work on a schedule and finalize everything. So I hope to have that posted to TLG Connect next week for you. Some other things going on around the community. This month, we'll be doing some landscape updates, working on hopefully getting some mulch spread around, updating the flowers, the monument signs, and incorporating some other plants to fill in the areas. I posted on TLG Connect earlier this afternoon. As a reminder, buildings E and D on Thursday next week, the 12th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be a water shutoff, hot water only, as we're performing annual boiler maintenance work. We've already done building L, and we're making our way around the community. So N and M, and then the rest of the buildings will be on schedule soon enough. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Joy Wilkes. Is everything on? Everything's going just fine. Yes. Yes, all is well. Oh, I forgot to mention too, with the window washing, during that time, we will only be washing the windows, but we'll also be making sure to clean the tracks of the windows. We'll also be looking at replacing and repairing your screens. So if you're missing screens, they have holes, rips, or tears, we'll be refixing those as well during that time. Interior and exterior. So we'll be sure to get all the windows this year for you. Yes, we'll be inside your apartments, and I'll be sure to have a maintenance person accompany them during that time. Thank you. Oh, one more question. Yes, Linda. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we won't need to take the netting down. The schedule I provide to everyone, hopefully it'd be a day that you'll know will be in your building and we'll be going around. So hopefully we can just gain access through your home. We won't need to take down any of the pet nets because that is a big job for us. The question was, will we be needing to take the pet nets down to wash the windows? We will not need to take any of the nets down. We'll enter through your homes to get to the windows. All right, thank you.
Got all the tallies ahead of me. Bring it down. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for being here. And yes, happy Mother's Day to everybody. One of the most tough but rewarding gifts we can have in our lives. So, and I did have had the opportunity to work with Pam as well. And it's been fun hearing about her kids. And I know she talks about my kids. So we are so grateful that you're part of the team, Madam Mayor. For mayor. Okay, so I just wanted to give you the HR update on our onboarding, which means we have had candidates that accepted offers and will be joining our team. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that are in the process. We have 2 nurses, a CNA, 2 wait staff, and a health center concierge. So we will try to get them through the process as soon as possible. And for new hires that have joined our team since we met last, we have 1 returning team member. Does anybody know who it is in the dining room? Josh, right? So we were happy to have him back. So if you haven't seen him, please say hi, but I'm sure you probably have. And we have hired several new CNAs, certified nursing assistants. So we have 2 in our memory care, 2 in our lodge, and 1 in our health center. So we're very, very excited about that. And 1 janitor. For our anniversaries for this month, we have 4 team members that have celebrated years of service between 1 and 5 years, 5 team members in the 6 to 10 year range, 1 team member in the 15 to 20 range, 4 team members in the 21 to 25 range. And our longest serving team member for the month of May is 27 years. And that's Patricia Ulola. And she started out as a housekeeper. Many of you probably may have had her as a housekeeper. And then she moved on to the health center. And please keep in mind, we will be here 30 years. So that means 27 of those 30 years she's been here with our team. So very excited about that. Turnover, I just kind of want to glaze over that. It's been a crazy one. Great resignation is definitely out there. So your part in your kindness and compassion and welcoming and appreciating our team members, you don't know, goes a long way. That's what keeps team members here. They may not like their bosses, but they love, love, love being here and serving you. So thank you very much for all that you do. I know Bradley's going to talk a little bit more, but we have a job fair. You've probably seen the big posters. You know, Bradley loves posters and signs, so he's always doing a great job with that. So that will be taking place on Wednesday, May 18th. So if you know anybody, or if you're out to dinner somewhere or wherever, you can definitely hand out a card as well. So because you're living here and it's great to know people and to be happy about the people that are here serving you each day. So we'll be having that. Bradley will give you more information. And in all of our week events that are going on next week in celebrating Nurses Week, we have also a Spirit Week. And I know Bradley talked about that a little bit at the chat. And being that we're an inclusive community, you can dress up too if you'd like. So Monday, we're going to be doing our TLG shirts with jeans. And jeans is a big deal because we don't allow team members to wear blue jeans. Tuesday, crazy hair or crazy sock day. Wednesday's your beach wear day. And of course, appropriate attire is needed. Thursday's favorite color day. And then lastly, on Friday of next week is favorite sports team day. So pull your jerseys out, baseball, football, whatever, soccer, whatever it might be. So feel free to join us in our Spirit Week. Any questions for me? Oh, yes. We're going to be in the Galleria. We don't want to take up any of the space in here because I know there's a lot of exercise and getting fit and singing, dancing. So we'll have it out there. And if we need to do interviews, we'll just go ahead and find some other rooms. So yes, we will not take up this room, but good question. Anything else? All right. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Thank you very much, Christy, Vincent, and Linda for those reports. Actually, before I move on to share some additional information, we're going to have Cindy come up and give us a quick reminder about an important event coming up tomorrow.
You all should have gotten in your boxes a reminder about the service of remembrance and renewal that will be here in the GRA tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We will be honoring 71 people who have died since May of 2019. So there's 3 years since we have been able to gather to honor people in this way. We will also be reflecting on what the pandemic has meant for our community. And the service has come together so well because there are so many resident speakers and poets, even artists who are giving to us tomorrow. So I hope you can join us at 2 o'clock, and there will be a reception afterwards in the Fountain Court. Any questions about that? Thanks.
Thank you very much, Cindy. As Christy described a little bit earlier, we are experiencing workforce challenges unlike anything certainly unlike anything I've ever seen throughout my career. I'll share a few comments about that in just a moment, but before I get to that, I want to share a few items from our dining services team on their behalf. So we are looking forward to a wonderful Mother's Day brunch this Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Our dining services team has created a wonderful menu, and it should be a great day for all. For residential living residents, if you not signed up yet, you can sign up on TLG Connect or up at the concierge desk. Residents from other levels of living as well are welcome to sign up in the same way. The same or similar menus will be served in all the dining areas throughout the community on that day. Also, moving forward after this Sunday, our dining services team will continue to have a Sunday brunch every week with a delicious menu, including breakfast items as well as some lunch items, or as they say, brunch items. Including carving stations. So it will be a little bit of a different dining experience than we've had at least over the last 2 years. And so we're looking forward to that. With that change, the main dining room on Sundays will be closed for dinner, although meals can be ordered either online or contacting through the concierge desk for pickup for dinner. The other levels of living, the other dining rooms won't be impacted. Dining rooms will still be open for dinner as usual. Next, the happy hour schedule has changed slightly. Until further notice, our regular happy hours that have previously taken place on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are now scheduled to take place on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So that's unfortunately, we're due to labor challenges, we aren't able to staff the happy hours on Thursdays. Hopefully that won't be a permanent change, but again, that will be until further notice. Finally, we're looking forward to restarting our farmers markets. So starting on May 19th, we will restart our farmers market out in the Fountain Court. It'll be a little bit of a change than what we've previously done. We'll have the same or similar farmers market that we've had before with fresh produce and baked goods and other items to purchase. But in addition, we'll be serving lunch in the Fountain Court barbecue style. So that should be a fun day. We'll have live music like we've had before. And the time is slightly changed to be able to accommodate the barbecue style lunch. So the time will be 11:30 to 1 o'clock. So all residents from all levels living here at the community are encouraged to join us out in the Fountain Court on May 19th from 11:30, I believe, to 1 o'clock. Should be a good time. I am sure that you're all tired of hearing about labor shortages. I am. Christy is. There are labor shortages across every industry, across all areas of the country right now. And not only are we tired of hearing about it, we're tired of living it, as I know all of you are as well. I know the labor challenges that we're experiencing, they certainly impact our team members, and they also impact all of you. And I wish I had a magic wand to say, okay, it's done now and we're back to normal. But we're still trying to find that magic wand. But I do just want to acknowledge the fact that we know that it creates challenges for all of you. And you have, over the past 2.5 years, been more patient and supportive than I probably would be if I were a resident here. So I want to thank you for your ongoing support. The unfortunate reality is, well, it's a reality, and due to so many factors, workers are leaving. They're leaving all industries. They're leaving all fields. We're going on, I think, the 8th or 9th consecutive month where over 4 million employees across the country have left their jobs. And I think last month was the peak, 4.7 or 4.6 million people. And here at the Terraces, we're certainly not immune. And we're working really, really hard. And we are doing, we're doing a lot. There's always more that can be done and will continue to be done. But we have to make some challenging decisions about where we devote all of our attention, right? If there's an unlimited number of ways that we can approach these challenges, we have the difficult choice to decide, okay, where do we want to focus our efforts? And there's a few things that we're doing that I just wanted to mention. We're really working closely with our team members to provide motivation and financial incentive for our team members to refer their family members, their friends, previous coworkers, maybe at other places of employment, to come in and apply and join our team here at the Terraces of Los Gatos. And we've seen some success. We've seen quite a few team members that we've been able to hire over the course of the last few months, thanks to referrals from our current team members. We've found internal referrals really to be one of the most effective ways to recruit team members that will stay and will stick around with us for a longer period of time. As Christy mentioned, we're also working on a job fair that's going to be coming up in a few weeks. Really looking forward to that. We have, as an organization, we've hired a dedicated recruiter that works with our community, full-time with our community, as well as our sister community in Los Altos. And we're working with the recruiter and others from our sort of corporate recruiting team to really hopefully create a successful job fair event on the 18th. As Christy mentioned, we are encouraging our team members to invite their friends and family members and other people that they may come in contact with to come and join us for the job fair. And we encourage all of you to do the same thing as well. So if you know anyone that would like to come to the job fair, I've got a few invitations that I'll leave them up here. And I know Christy has about 1 million of them. So if you need any, please feel free to grab one. Pass them out to the friendly barista at Starbucks or Pete's, or a great server that you may come in contact with at a restaurant. We're also doing next Monday, just so everyone is aware, in celebration of National Nurses Week, we're having a team member appreciation event. It's going to take place over on the side parking lot next to the Grove. And around early afternoon, we're going to have a couple of food trucks that come in, and it'll be a way for us to, one, thank our team members for the hard work that they do. Nothing says thank you, in my opinion, better than tacos and ice cream sandwiches. So we'll be serving our team members tacos and ice cream sandwiches. But what we've also done is we've opened it up to all who work in the nursing field in the greater community. So if nurses or nursing assistants that work anywhere, not necessarily at the Terraces or Los Gatos, we're trying to spread the word to invite them as well. We figure it's a great opportunity for us to thank them for the important work that they do, but also a way to get them in the door. And maybe on the way out, we'll be passing out these job fair invites. So Monday will be a fun day, and maybe will be a little chaotic, but if it's chaotic, that's good, because that means there's a lot of people coming. So we appreciate your support. There was like, where are they going to park? That's a great question. Vincent's going to figure that out between now and Monday. So in addition to, well, not in addition to, but we know that there are also, as many of you are probably aware, most, but not all, of our departments right now are in various stages of leadership transition. Whether we've had new leaders come in within the departments, or we have new leaders that are on their way out, and hopefully have new leaders coming in soon. There's a lot of leadership transition going on throughout the community. What I would invite all of you to do is tomorrow, devote a little bit of time to reading the weekly updates. What we're going to have in the weekly updates tomorrow is a department by department kind of breakdown of where we're at in our leadership transition. So let you know who's coming, who's going, and what the interim plans are for some of the departments that are sort of still to be determined, and also provide as many updates that we can on the recruitment efforts for specific positions. So there's a lot. I started writing out a big, long explanation, and I thought we'd probably be here for an hour and a half. So we're just going to put it all down in paper and distribute that out with the weekly updates tomorrow. Once you read that, if you have any questions or if you have any feedback, please feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Christy, our Human Resources Director. And just again, want to thank all of you for your patience as we go through some of these what are frankly challenging transitions. On a completely different note, We have been in contact, and we're partnering with a company called Sparta. I say partnering, it's not a permanent or an ongoing partnership by any means, but it's a company that's conducting research for some fall prevention technology. And occasionally there's different companies that conduct different research that are exploring different options. And we like to get involved with them as best as we possibly can. One, because it's just super helpful. We want technology, especially technology that benefits older adults. We want that technology to develop, and we want to be a part of it however we can. So we have agreed to allow this company called Sparta to come into our community next week, actually, and they essentially are asking for resident volunteers to help them gather some data. There'll be more information in the weekly updates tomorrow about it, but essentially it's just sort of a one-time deal that takes about 15 minutes. They're going to be set up in the Sequoia room, and it will be they'll be here for several days, I think Tuesday through Friday. And again, all the details will be in the weekly updates tomorrow. But essentially what it will be is you'll go and there's probably a couple of pages that they'll have you fill out of information. And then there's something that they'll have you stand on for 3 or 4 minutes. And I think that's it. So it's really easy. And I think they give you like a free cup of coffee or something. I don't know. But anyways, if you're available and interested, we'd like to get as many residents as we can to help support their efforts to advance technology in that area. That is all that they had on the agenda. We have a few minutes left, so I'd like to open it up for any questions, comments, or feedback on topics that we may not have hit. Linda. So both very good questions. The first question was about where we are with our dining services director search. We, as most of you probably heard, we had extended an offer that was accepted to a strong candidate who unfortunately had some family matters that came up, a death in the family, which then they had to leave the country, actually. And so we made the decision. We've had very open conversations with Khalil, who's the individual, and he at this point is not sure when he will be back in California. And so we've agreed that we're going to reopen the search for new dining services director. And that is essentially where we are right now. We met with a candidate that was presented to us from our partners at Morrison last week. And we decided not to move forward with that candidate. The individual checked all the boxes, had great experience, very, very well qualified. We just didn't feel that they were the right fit personality-wise, culture-wise for our community, because we know how important that position is. So we are continuing the search for dining services director, and we don't have anyone narrowed down yet for that position. Next question with respect to the concierge desk. Admittedly, it's a little awkward. The question was why the sort of change in the layout of the screener and the concierge desk. Really, it's sort of an interim solution. And it will probably likely change potentially over the next few weeks or months. But what we are doing is essentially we're in the process of transitioning away from having one concierge and one active screener to not having an active screener, but having two concierges sort of working side by side and being available to provide support for those that are coming into the community and being screened as needed. But having their attention dedicated a little bit more towards supporting with sort of traditional concierge needs. And so we sort of shifted the desk to sort of be next to the concierge desk. We know it's not really ideal at the moment, but it's sort of a work in progress. Ultimately, our goal, like as it is, to really have two concierges on duty working side by side and supporting each other. When one gets busy or one needs a break, they're covering for each other. And when we complete the remodel of the Galleria, that's sort of one of the components to that remodel. So I don't know if that answers the question. Okay, thanks for that feedback, and we can take a look at it and see if it makes sense to make some changes.
Did I understand correctly that there will only be one meal served on every Sunday?
Yes, yes. In the dining room, and for dinner, for living residents, there'll be to-go dinner or delivered dinner available.
Is this temporary because of health, or is this a permanent?
We're gonna wait and see. Yeah, we'll wait and see. Susan.
It was discussed as a trial, because we brought up questions about the fact that there are some people who really count on an evening meal, or yes, I know I can order one. So it was discussed as a trial.
In case anyone didn't hear that, with the dining committee, it's sort of discussed as a trial. So we will leave it at that. It's a trial. We'll see how it goes. Make adjustments as needed as we go. Any other questions, comments, feedback? Anyone have a good joke they'd like to share to wrap up the meeting? Kendrick, are you up there? All right. Well, thank you all very much for joining us today. I appreciate all your ongoing support, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Take care. Oh, Mr. Jones, welcome. Everyone, look at the back. There's Mr. Jones. Welcome.